Hey guys, this is Brennan Coe at Pipeline Sports Performance. Today I wanted to take a little bit of time to chat about some different things that we see, common issues with younger hitters hitting off of the tee. In my opinion, the tee is an extremely beneficial tool to make sure that we're getting plenty of reps. You're never going to have a sore arm. Tee's never going to have to go hang out with his girlfriend. It's always going to be there, always be helpful. But there are some common issues that we see that can actually be a little bit detrimental to the swing. So what I'm going to do today is kind of break it down into 3 different steps. All right, so for tip number 1, we're going to talk a little bit about tee placement, right? So what we see with a lot of young hitters, a common issue, when starting out at T-ball, a lot of them are taught to stand really far back from the tee. Front foot is typically more out in front of the ball. They're going to want to hit the ball with arms extended. That can actually be a little bit detrimental in the swing as they get older. So what we try to do is make sure that whenever we position ourselves on the tee, we're relatively close, not right on top of the baseball, but, far enough to where, or close enough to where I don't have to just extend my arms out to try to go get everything, right? And the second part of that is making sure that as I load, take that step to stride, that ball is out in front of that front foot. Right? If I'm hitting a lot of balls basically in between the middle of my body, I'm teaching myself to catch the ball super deep. I'm going to have a lot of balls that are hit to the opposite field, probably not barreling up balls quite as well. Right? The other thing is making sure that, if that ball is out in front, that really implements good habits of us really trying to stay inside the ball, to let those hands work out in front, trying to hit good backspin line drives up the middle. All right, so for tip number 2, we're going to take a little deeper dive into the tee placement, right? We talked about making sure, properly hitting the ball out in front of that front foot, not too far, not too close. Now, the second part of this is making sure that I'm not just training my body to only hit one pitch, one spot, one location, right? We want to make sure that we're training to be able to adapt, hit the inside pitch, hit the outside pitch, high, low, right? So something we like to do is, visualization type cues. Right, so as I am, getting in the box, I know the ball is relatively somewhere in this area, right? But I'm not going to actually physically put my eyes on it until after I have loaded and taken that step, right? So as I am in the box, right, kind of moving around a little bit, I know the ball is somewhere in this area, but we want to put a face on the pitcher, really train to visualize the pitch coming in versus just staring down at the ball, loading and taking a swing, okay? So visualize, load, come down, find the pitch, right? Hit good line drives up the middle, right? Next pitch, I know I'm going to kind of back out of the box. I know that the ball is somewhere in that general area. I may even raise it up a little bit, lower it a little bit, right? Now, get back in the box, load, come down and find the pitch, right? Probably a little bit different spot, so now I'm learning how to adapt and adjust rather than just being a one-dimensional hitter. So for tip number 3, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into talking about the visualization that we talked about in tip number 2, right? So when hitting off of the tee, as I am in the box, right, I always want to make sure that I'm maintaining a good visual cue somewhere out towards the pitcher, right? So as I go to load and swing, take a look at the difference. If my head is just staring directly down at the ball, what happens is typically guys will start to over-rotate, overload, put themselves in a little bit different position versus head up, chest up a little bit, right? Staying a little bit more in an athletic position. The other part of this is we're never going to hit in a game, unless you're a T-ball player, but we're never going to hit in a game literally staring directly down at home plate and know exactly where that pitch is, right? So we always want to make everything as game-like as possible. Put a face on that guy. Who do you really, really enjoy hitting off of? Who's the best guy? You're always getting doubles, singles, triples, homers. Who do you really enjoy hitting off of? Put a face on him, visualize, right? Load, track the pitch, come down, find it. Hopefully we can hit good line drives.